Okay, so once again, what did we do up to this point? We have a file for which we want to predict 15 opportunities and see what would be the estimated value of these opportunities for the next 90 days, knowing that for the first rows, we already have a tendency, we already have a trend. And so what we did was to sign in TabH2O portal in order to get access to an API key and to the manifest file that we installed together. And so here I clicked on the Open TabH2O button and I see a couple of things. What I can do is actually to resize, so I really can resize if I want this by clicking on the three dots. I can click on the TabH2O button to be brought on the H2O TabH2O portal. I can also click on the H2O.ai to go on the website if I want to for additional information and stuff like that. And now, in order to predict these rows, I need to have an API key. So what I'm going to do is to click on the Get Your Key. And this is exactly the same portal where I was earlier. So you can arrive on the same place by getting your API key from the dashboard and click on the Copy button. So I'm going to click on the Copy button and go back and put my API key and load it. So automatically, as you can see, the source data, so the file spreadsheet has been detected. If there were multiple spreadsheets, I could have selected the one that I wanted. Here we just have one, that's why it was automatically detected. And by clicking on the load button, I can see that there are 60 rows that have been loaded with 10 columns. And so if I want, I can click on the button here of the spreadsheet and see the column name as well as the column type if I want to. So I see all the 10 columns, and underneath I can see the target column that has the missing values. So if there are other columns that have missing values, they will appear here. As for the moment, we only have one single missing values in one single column. Automatically, the task has been detected as being a regression. There are two types of tasks that we can select. One of them is regression, the other one is classification. So let me go back here to explain to you what the difference is in case you don't have the opportunity to have known already. We have three types of things that can happen usually when we want to predict something. You can have questions. Will they leave? Yes or no? What color is it predicted? Yes or no? So this is a question about will something happen with an answer that is of categorical value. This is what classification means. Then we have questions such as how much will happen or how much revenue, where the answer is a numeric value, which is considered a regression. And there is another category that is called what happens next over time, and that's what we call forecasting. Today we'll focus primarily on regression because it's a natural fit for the opportunity value dataset we're using, but the workflow you'll see is very similar across classification as well. And so before we click the predict button, because here, as you can see, we have a predict button, and all we need to do is actually to click on this predict button to get the prediction. So actually, we don't need an hour for a webinar where we can have our predictions in a matter of seconds. But I really feel it's important for you to understand the underlying issues and the entire context in which this has been developed and the opportunity it presents. Let's discuss a bit about what is happening here. So before we click the predict button, there are two things worth noticing here. First, every row represents an opportunity and every column contains information we already know today, as you see. And the second, we have a target column. This is what we are trying to predict, called opportunity value in the next 90 days in USD. Some rows already have values, and as you see, these are historical opportunities where we know what happened. They provide examples the model will learn from. Other rows are blank, and those are opportunities that we are interested in because they are the ones where we're asking a question about the future. And that's really the core idea behind the workflow. Known outcomes teach, unknown outcomes get predicted. And in this case, we're asking a regression question based on everything we know today from this data set that only has 60 observations. What revenue might these opportunities generate over the next 90 days? And now we have everything we need. We know a lot about these opportunities already. What we don't know is how much revenue they might generate over the next 90 days. That's the question we are asking TabH2O to help answer. Let's see what comes back. And so let's click together on the predict button. When I'm going to click on the predict button, what happens is that all these fields are going to be filled in with the color violet. And this is the estimation and the prediction of all these rows. So let's see how difficult it is to predict something with TabH2O. That's it. Actually, the reason why you're here today is for this particular point. That's it. And yeah, the rest is history. What can I say? So let me get back to the slides. And I hope you are as surprised as I was when I first tried this particular data set, not data set, this particular tool when I installed it. And so before we move on in the next sections, let's pause for a second and reflect on what just happened, because the prediction itself, it's only a part of the history. What really changed is the flow, right? Like we do agree. We know how to open an Excel file. We know how to read some data, but what do we do afterwards? Well, we use traditional machine learning. Now with TabH2O, it's just like a click of a button and that's it. We have predictions that are highly accurate with models that have been developed by our Kaggle Grandmasters and who have trained these models on billions of data. Traditionally, answering a predictive question often meant involving multiple teams, as we discussed at the beginning, moving data between systems, building models, validating results, waiting for days and sometimes weeks before getting an answer, involving multiple types of skills and technical teams. There were so many complications with respect to that. What we just did looked very different. We started with a spreadsheet, asked a question, and generated predictions in a matter of seconds. Now, of course, this doesn't eliminate the need for data scientists or machine learning experts. It doesn't. Complex problems still require expertise, governance, and robust machine learning workflows. But for many everyday business questions, the barrier to getting a predictive answer becomes dramatically lower. That's the real impact. You don't need yourself as a salesperson or as the CEO of a company or a VP of a department that is totally different from what data science means to understand what data science is and what are the intricacies of machine learning models in order to be able to use this application. And that's the shift I want you to remember. It's not simply a faster process. It's a short distance between a question and a decision. The conversation starts to move away from how do we build a model and toward what would we like to know. Because how do we build a model can take months at a time. But what do we like to know, and getting an answer at the push of a button that is just under our fingerprints can be way, way faster. And that's what actually tabular foundation models does nowadays for us. And that's why tabular foundation models have the potential to be like the next revolutionary thing that is happening.